Illegal Chinese immigrants coming onto Guam shores. Half a day, I'm Nick Delgado with the KUAM News team. A topic of discussion resurfacing over in the nation's capital. And joining us now to talk more about it is Guam's delegate, James Moylan. Half a day, Congressman.
Half a day, Nick. It's good to be home.
Yeah, it always is, I'm sure, with the warmer climate.
Absolutely.
So tell us, this topic, it resurfaced and made headlines. What made you bring this up again?
Well, of course, in the mainland, this is a big topic about the border security, right? And just before coming back to home, I was in Arizona looking at their border issues as well. So Congress is very concerned about border issues, and the southern borders of the United States especially. And back in January 2000 of this year, they already recorded 174,000 illegal migrants. And about 7,000 of those were Chinese migrants as well. The United States issue is their borders, right? And CONUS U.S. Guam, is a border as well. And that's why I wanted to bring this issue back of what we're learning in the mainland of how we can also help Guam. So we understand we do have illegal migrants coming from China too. And Guam is this big center right now for Indo-KUAM, the protection of our island, the most western territory there is, U.S. soil in the Indo-KUAM region, with our threat or aggressor being the Communist Chinese Party, the CCP. And if we are having illegal migrants coming from China, what are we doing about it, right?
Yeah.
So that's a concern for me. We have the increase in military buildup for the defense of the nation, and for the defense of the island, but yet we're having illegal migrants from China coming on in. We need to do something. That's brought this to our attention, and that's why it's a topic that I'm sharing with my colleagues in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, and I think the verbiage that I saw in some of the interviews you've done with national media was that they were infiltrating our shores, correct?
They're coming in illegally, and that's what happens, right? And if we're working so hard on the southern borders of the United States, we need to pay our attention as well to Guam. Specifically, the Indo-KUAM region, the buildup of the military forces here on Guam from the Marines, and also the 360-degree missile defense that we need to counter what our Communist Chinese Party has against us. But right now, something needs to be done today. Yeah. And so we did reach out to Department of Homeland Security, the ICE, and say, look, we know things are happening. What are we doing about it? And how can we, as a Congress, assist in preventing this from happening?
You know what's different is when you think about protecting our borders stateside, there's actual landmass between the neighboring countries like Mexico and Canada, but here we're just surrounded by water.
Right.
So what's that discussion like with regard to the potential difficulty to secure our land?
Right. Our borders is 360 degrees.
Yeah.
And the difficulty, of course, is our Customs and Border Patrol here doesn't have the resources, our local customs office. We need the federal government to step up, just like we see in the southern borders of the United States, where the local sheriff's office, the local customs office there, the state provided, it doesn't have the resources, nor are they being additionally funded to provide that service to protect their borders. Guam, 360 degrees, all that border, there's certain places you can or cannot, or may not be able to land in, but you're able to come in from all different directions. It's extremely difficult. Department of Homeland Security, ICE, needs to provide federal assistance, either additional training, additional resources, additional equipment necessary for our local customs department to fulfill their job in protecting our island. So we reached out to them, and we did receive a response.
Okay.
And their response basically said, hey, we're doing our job. This is what we've been doing. But we need additional help. That's the answers we need.
That's always the question whenever I ask our local customs officials. They say that they're doing their job with the resources that they have available. But obviously, in the past couple of years, we've seen at least a dozen of these illegal Chinese immigrants make their way here by boat, threatening, even risking their lives, making it through the choppy waters between the CNMI and Guam. So are they really doing their job?
The total numbers that we see come on in that are documented. Those are available. However, what are the ones that we don't know that come in, and how do they infiltrate and come into our island and start just working within our area, right? Being meshed into our community.
Yeah.
That's a great concern, especially the Communist Chinese Party. These are our aggressors. We're having a military buildup on Guam because of our proximity to China, because we're the most western territory of the United States, U.S. soil. We stockpile ammunition, we stockpile fuel, but we're deterring our aggressors. We're also supporting our allies, Philippines, Taiwan, Japan, all the first island chain, second island chain as well. But if we're allowing illegal Chinese immigrants to come on in, we're not enforcing that. We should be stopping them before they even land on our shores, before they swim up on our shores. We've been rescuing them recently. We had to send out our military personnel, our Coast Guard, to help one boat that was in need of assistance. We saved them. But if we can save them, we can also stop and prevent them. So that's the focus we need to bring back. Defend Guam. Defend the people of Guam, and by doing so, you're defending the nation. And we're deterring the Communist Chinese Party any further aggression of what we're seeing in the Philippines and all their different exercises that they're doing. The U.S. we have a big exercise here at Anderson Air Force Base ongoing too. We're showing our capabilities, but we can't show our weakness on our borders.
Yeah, and one thing that was unique about this situation with those immigrants from the CNMI making their way here by boat is some of them were saying that they were seeking refuge, looking for a better life, or even jobs as best they could. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm sure there are some, but we don't know the others, right? Of course, we always welcome, and there's legal ways that you can come into U.S. territory as well. So do that the right way. If it is truthful and this is what they want to do, okay, let's see what we can do with our immigrations here to assist. It's the ones we don't know that come on in, and what are they doing now? Right? We know we're in just about every scenario that plays out from the Communist Chinese Party, Guam is a target. From cyber attacks to bombing threats, we know there's a missile called the Guam Killer. And how are these folks that are coming into our shores illegally, those that we don't even see? I'm not sure what is the total percentage of how many we catch, that how many are unknown too. What are they doing here, right? We're such a small island, and if they are tracking certain things and observing us, that's a great concern. If the U.S. federal government is putting in at this time for the NDAA budget that we proposed, $3.2 billion as a buildup, but yet we cannot protect our borders from illegal migrants coming on in and doing what and observing what and reporting to whom, that's a great concern, just like it is for the southern borders in the United States.
It makes the people here at our home ask that question, how safe is it really for us here if with those people being able to come onto our shores, sometimes even undocumented or undetected even, and it makes you also question how long could this have possibly been happening, right?
Right.
But I'm glad you brought up the dollar amount for the NDA, because that's what I was going to ask next is, if you could put a dollar amount to what it would take to protect our borders, what would that be? And has that come up in any discussion that you've had?
With the recent response this month that we received from ICE was their need for additional personnel. So that amount can be determined based on what they need. And I'm glad they responded. We need more information, and now we're going to have this discussion to sit down, and we can bring this back to DC and say, look, this is what we need. And as a member of the House Armed Services Committee, then I can talk to my colleagues too and see what we can do for the 2025 budget as well too. And that's what we're already working on right now. So the quicker we address this, the safer I would feel.
Any additional words that you want to add to that as you have planned meetings coming up this year?
Well, we recognize the situation, and we're not going to let it lie. This needs to be stopped. And as we identify more resources necessary, the focus will be on that to provide that for Guam. We must protect the island of Guam, the people of Guam, and by doing so, we're showing that the nation is strong. This will deter our Communist Chinese Party from their aggression, And therefore, the overall goal is to keep Indo-PACOM free and to provide an economic activity that works for all of us. If not for that, then what's next for our aggressors? Yeah. So this is where it's going to hopefully not start, but this is where it's going to finish, by showing the strength of the island through our National Defense Authorization Act, through our military buildup, and with the Marines and the 360-degree missile defense system to protect our island, so we can have one economy with our free associated states and keep our economy going.
That's what all who calls the Marianas home hope for, right?
That's right.
Well, Congressman, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it so much.
Nice to see you again.
Same here.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be right back.